Hello and welcome. So in this lecture, we are just going to learn about client access, like when clients tries to access your Exchange or your Outlook web access, how can they access it, and what are the different policies that you can create when they access your Exchange server. So what are we going to do in this lecture? We are going to learn about client access settings that we have. So there are some components with your client access, and whenever your client accesses your Exchange server, there are like some components that you have to know, like the enabling or disabling of features for your clients is one of the things that you need to learn. Like, what features do you want your clients to be able to access? For example, you don't want your clients to be able to access Outlook web access, or for example, you want to create a separate policy for your finance department, like when they access their Exchange server. So let's see what are the different things we have with our client access settings. So when you click on permissions, you have got Outlook web app policies, which is your Outlook web app policies. And in here, what you can do is you can create your own policy. For example, you this policy that you have in here, the default policy, if you click here, what you can do is you can simply see that this default policy is not restricted. This default policy is like allowed for everything. But what you want to do now is you want to create Outlook web app policy, mailbox policy, where you want to restrict things for your finance department. For example, restriction for finance department. So what you want to do in here, you don't want them to use unified messaging, you don't want them to use contacts, you don't want them to use journaling. So you can see that when I click in here, there is a box next to it which shows us that if journaling is set to enable, the journal folder will be visible in Outlook on the web. And then, for example, if change password is set to enable, people can change their password. For example, I don't want my finance department users to be able to change their password when they go to Outlook web access, or when they go to the options in Outlook. So in Outlook web app, where we are going to learn in our upcoming videos, and you will see that how Outlook web app works. It's same as Outlook, but it is in a browser. So you can also change your password in there. But what you can do is you can say that my finance department users, whenever they log into Outlook web app, they should not be able to change their password. For example, if I click here on theme, if theme is enabled, user can change the color. Like, do you want them to change the color of their Outlook? Yes or no? It's on you. And for example, premium client, for most of the time, when your internet connection is so slow, your Outlook web app is not going to load very well. So what you can do is you can make it like light client. So you can uncheck this one, and if I go down and then I click on more options, you can see that user experience, which is like email signature. If email signature is set to enable, user can create custom signatures. This is a good thing actually. So I'm not going to disable it. I want to let them create email signatures like best, for example, thanks, regards, Pervisilento, IT manager. This is the phone number. So this is my signatures, and I want to let them do that. So if I click on this one and click, users can use their calendar on Outlook web app. I want them to use, because this is something necessary, and direct file access is enabled. User will be able to open attachment by selecting them, then selecting open. So do you want to do this or not? You can restrict it based on your requirements. So this is not for your Outlook. Once again, this is not for your Outlook. This is not for this one. This is for your Outlook web access. Outlook web access means that, for example, let me quickly show you what's Outlook web access. So if I go here and say localhost backslash OA, press OK, it is going to bring Outlook Web Access for me. We are going to learn more in detail about Outlook Web Access, but for now, I'm just going to show you how Web Access looks like. So I'll accept the certificate, and then the time zone and everything. Okay, I'm gonna select Canada, Pacific, US, Canada, press save, and then um, I'll just simply what I'm gonna do is, if it asks me for username and password, I'm gonna type the username and password. So you see that this is your Outlook Web Access. So what you can do in here is you can check your emails, you can check each and everything that you have. So this is for administrator. You can change it. You can change it and just log in as your username. So this is your Outlook Web Access, which we will be learning more in detail. Just wanted to show you. So what are you doing with Outlook Web App Policies? You are setting up your client access settings. Client access setting means that when your client accesses your Exchange or your Outlook, like remotely, like your mobile clients, like a client sitting on Starbucks, a client sitting on a coffee shop, a client sitting on on an internet cafe or somewhere remotely where they do not have Outlook, a program, they want to use or they want to access your Exchange server from anywhere they want. So what they can do is they can use their Internet Explorer, and then they can use Outlook Web Access. So what are we doing in here is we are defining Outlook Web Access or Outlook Web App Policies. So if I go back in here, so I created a restricted policy for finance department users. I will press OK in here, and now the next question that you will ask is, how do we apply it to the user? So I'm gonna go to mailbox. For example, Parviz is from finance department. What you can do in here is you can just come in here and then click on mailbox feature, and in mailbox features what you will be doing is you will be simply clicking here. Oh, not this one. I'm so sorry. This is going to be for Outlook web app, not mobiles, which we will be learning on next video. Here you go. So email connectivity, Outlook on the web is enabled. You can disable it too for Parviz if you want. You can totally disable it so that Parviz will not be able to use OA or Outlook Web Access. You can disable IMAP, POP3, MAPI. So you can disable all those kind of things. So you can disable Exchange Active Sync, disable OA for devices. For example, we want, that policy that we created, we want it to be applied for Parviz. I'm going to click on view detail, and this view detail is going to bring up the policy, and this is the policy that we recently created. So now what's going to happen is that that policy is going to be applied for Parviz, and Parviz won't be able to change the password and all those kind of things. So in here you can change or disable different features that you want, and that's how you can create a policy for your client access, so that clients can access your Outlook Web Access and like remotely or mobile users actually. So I hope you have learned something, and I'll see you next lecture.